What's up, fam? Opening a drink on microphone. Be right back. Shut the fucking door. Oopsie. Got my phone open for chat. Jay Basquet, what's up? What's going on, man? Ryan, how's it going? So what's Ryan saying? Rock and metal in its musical form isn't dead. The image that allowed popularity and innovation of rock music is dead. Rock stars give it an appealing image to normal people. That's why rock was popular. I think that's code for new young bands that are mostly in rock and metal are fat and ugly. There's no more golden gods, you know, which I agree with. But rock and metal is relatively dead compared to what it has been in the past. The last big moment was new metal. So, and because I'm British, we say metal. Do you like metal? Test your metal. It's going to be a short one tonight. It's a late one. I've had a long one. Good times. So, waiting for the sausages, my Valhalla sausages to start pouring in. All the boys, no girls allowed. Mm-mm-mm. So that's something else you might not know about me. If you've seen my channel, if you're a sub, you might have seen a couple of movie reviews that I did. So I did one on the Mayhem movie, and I also did one on The Dirt with Motley Crue, and they actually were really well received, both views and people giving me their, they actually liked my opinion. Now I go and see movies I don't even like because I have one of those monthly passes where you can go and see as many movies as you want whenever they come out. It's a really good deal. I suggest you go to regal.com or whatever it is that Regal Cinemas do, and it's something like $20 a month, and you can watch all the movies you want. Or was it 25 now? I don't know, but it's very reasonable. So I watch a lot of movies, and I used to wait before I got my beautiful daughter. I used to watch a lot more because big movie buff. I would love to do soundtracks one day. I gotta replace this creaking chair. Doesn't make for good television, does it? But we're learning. Me and you sausages together. Okay. Let me check comments. Is the audio okay? Are you in Florida? Yes, I am. Brian Jeffs, it's just another cheap product for the consumer's head. Yeah, but it is literally cheap now because the industry is throwing no money at guitarists anymore. There's a couple, that are still getting really good representation, like Bring Me the Horizon and Lorna Shaw now are getting a few shekels thrown at them. Not much though, when you think about it. Christopher D. Any creativity that was allowed back in the day certainly is stifled nowadays by comparison. There's it depends on the problem is, like I actually did a slip of the tongue the other day where I called it polyphery because I got polyphia and periphery mixed up, and I think that was like perfect. Maybe I should call the stream that, because what's going on now is because they are creative, they were creative, they obviously with periphery they took a lot of pointers from Sixth and Meshuggah, but they did come up with uh, their own style, which was ruined by copycats because there was so many of them. All of them doing the boy band vocals, all of them copying the inflection, the breakdowns, the obviously the ambient cleans. So when it comes to creativity, I'm seeing a lot of bands copying and pasting the creativity of better bands. So then that is basically obviously not creativity. It's just fanboyism. I know I've really talked too much about that, but that is the creativity that we see in is people creating like carbon like today I listened to Banger TV and his recommendations for albums of the month, indie and underground albums of the month, and I really like the guy, but I just can't. With me, have you seen that episode of The Simpsons? Of South Park, where they could try and come up with plots, and it's like Simpsons did it, and it's driving them insane because there's so many. Um, when I listened to one of the bands, it was like, oh, there it is, the heavy metal two pedal, and oh look, they're from Sweden, you know. So it's obviously that is the you know black and roll type of stuff, but yeah, creativity, people. If actually, it's hard for me to look past when I hear it. I wouldn't even give that album a chance because of the copycat aspect. They might be amazing, you know. So it, I might be missing out just because of my prejudice, where I can't look beyond the copycat stylistically and production wise. I can't look past it. So then I won't dig into their riffs. So maybe I'm being a little bit stubborn, but it hurt my feelings for so long. So yeah, creativity is. I tell you what, when you think about it, the creativity is really, really good when it comes to like I couldn't. My channel is based on me trying to recreate and copy other bands. The irony is insane, but that's why I came full circle on it. I'm like, a lot of questions were, how do I sound like ABC? And I'm like, you do this, that, and the other. I'm like, have I done this kid a disservice? Because now he's going to be spending all his money on this stuff and chasing the tone, and he's not going to be writing songs. He's not going to be, furrowing his own path. So I actually felt a bit guilty about the advice I've given in the past, and so yeah, it's for the first time in my life, I started thinking, am I even gonna carry on giving it a chance? Because I give it all I do is scour for new bands, like, and now I'm so like, should I just listen to myself and throw in the towel that rock and metal is dead, and I'm completely wasting my time? You know, I should be. I say I should be writing and songwriting, but I actually wanted to be a producer. I wanted to be a pre-production producer. I'm not thinking I'm going to be the next proper top of the line producer, but I thought I could fill that role really well. But it's the dream is dead because ironically, I think at the time where I got really good at it, relatively good, for the bedroom tosses, the whole thing came crashing down. So yeah, oh well. And it's kind of I am financially going. I'm going. I'm actually listening to it because I'm you know rather than me not listen to metal, all of a sudden I'm selling all my gear. You know that I was putting away for a rainy day to start a pre-production company. So yeah, so I guess I'm answering my own questions. All right, it's a nice upbeat way to start the thread, but look at the title. All right. uh, I'm hoping that my peers, that people that are massive influencers on YouTube, that have been going down this path. Um, I hope there's more voices like mine saying, don't do the fucking vintage 30s and 57 with a boost. And then this is how you do your drums. This is how you do it. Just don't, you know, unless you're absolutely obsessed with production, well, then go nuts, you know. But if you want to actually be a rock star, you know, or even just make money and go on tour and all the good stuff, even though touring now has become an absolute nightmare with the quality of travel and everybody's losing their equipment. Plus, you got the COVID stuff, and it's still kind of dragging its feet some places where, you know, with Canada had a lot of issues with COVID and vaccine passports and all that type of thing. So yeah, it's bleak. All right, what's up, Father Owen? Oh, gee, Basque, I already read that one. Julian, what was discussed yesterday with rap being the new rock and roll, being edgy and dangerous? That's because any group of white guys wrote lyrics like that, they would be cancelled immediately. I've gone through that before, saying that there are provisions for that where it's the cancellation thing is. I honestly think that there is now. I've started to see a few things, a few green shoots on the horizon when it comes to being cancelled. And there is now, I suppose, one of the, say the underground, there's an underground when it comes to YouTube where they go into different places like Rockfin and to look at, to watch, you know, good news. So the kinds of people that I like to follow for my news, a lot of them are at very least shadow banned on YouTube, you know. So it's, I've noticed that there might be, it would be maybe something that we could start with the Circle of Tone. Maybe that's why we could call it Circle of Tone, where we could start some sort of platform where I actually thought of this, but 20 years ago, I actually called it the Fuck You Network. That was my username online, the Fuck You Network. And that was going to be, that was my vision of using the internet to create an underground. Because I could see the underground starting to shrink. But then I thought maybe we could have a place where it would be almost like a Reddit for the underground, you know? So that was my idea. But, and then around that same time, Facebook and actually MySpace and stuff started popping up. So I was like, oh, it's kind of already happening on MySpace and stuff. So, but I think the future when it comes to being able to express yourself without the fear of being cancelled, I think there is going to be a digital underground without going on the dark web. I think there's going to be, I think there will end up being a place, but maybe join the Circle of Tone Facebook group. Start there. I hate Facebook. That's the thing. See, that's why I'm starting to stream rather than upload regular videos, because they take all your money. I mean, who was it recently that there was a big YouTuber that practically stopped. It was a K-Mac. K-Mac actually got so pissed off with YouTube and their people, like sketchy people, were claiming his music, not even his music, the intro music for YouTube before a premiere. Some cheeky bastard actually claimed that was their music and took one of K-Mac's videos, right? It took all the revenue for it. And he wouldn't fight back, because if you fight back, you have to give all of your information. And the person that claimed it was called First Name Obama. That was the person who claimed it. First name was the first name or something like that. And then last name Obama. So obviously it's a troll. But now for him to fight it, to not get a channel strike, he would have to give all of his information to that third party. So identity theft. So if it's you already know it's a troll. So now you have to give your troll your home address, your phone number, your details, and all that type of thing. So YouTube has really pissed off creators, and it's a classic. What YouTube did, it's classic. You all remember, you old gits, how the internet used to be the Wild West. All right, YouTube used to be just things like you could see, like people would booby trap dirt bikes and put them in a park and wait for somebody to steal it, and then they drive off and get electrocuted and like break their arm or something. Things like that used to go on in YouTube land. And what Google did was they let us all at it, and it was the best thing ever. The internet. I remember how fun the internet used to be in general. You didn't get forced NBC. Like if you tuned in yesterday, you get force fed NBC, CBS, Fox. You get force fed that as a trusted news source, right? So they get times 1,000 in the algorithm to protect the children. Okay, so you had none of that. So then you get people like Razorfist popping up and going off and be able to say whatever you want, and then it's a classic bait and switch. Google knew that was going to happen, and they waited and waited until they had all of the market share, and then all of a sudden, the lobbyists that actually seed funded Google in the first place was seed funded by the U.S. government, by lobbyists. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, practically all the large names are seeded, or at least like Elon Musk. How much money has he had printed for him for green endeavors and stuff like that, But so Google waited until it had everybody's attention, everybody's details, everybody's habits, and then the lobbyists, they switch, and then all of a sudden it's just like the BBC, or now it's like state-run news is only allowed, and you have to jump through hoops. You can't say certain words. You can't question anything. Otherwise you're problematic. And so it's, yeah. So hopefully there will be a cool alternative to where we can upload videos and monetize it. Because poor K-Mac, man, he is so. I've never seen anyone look so defeated, and his Beatles with mixes with death metal track from back in the day with Blackbird singing in the dead of night, and his beautiful sweet voice. It's so funny. That poor bastard. He's one of the. There's only a few YouTubers, that are genuinely funny, and he's one of them. And have you noticed, staring into K-Mac's eyes, he has the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen. He's like a cherub. All right, let's see what's going on in Chatland. And I've lost the chat. I heard it. YouTube, are you listening, bro? So yeah, maybe we could resurrect the Fuck You Network and just start just a new underground of music where we all share, we all subscribe to each other, we all like each other's stuff, and you have to be brutally honest. You have to be brutally, so we can help each other, So if something's shit, you gotta maybe get some other, get this guitarist and that guitarist to help you out because the song is good, but you can't play. It's not even janky good. It's just bad. You know what I mean? It's distracting from the song. So you can help each other out with that. That I always catch myself with stuff like this because it's pie in the sky, dreaming type of thing, which needs a lot of money, and nobody's going to invest in the guitar right now. Trust me. Did I see the Sex Pistols film FX on Disney? Are you talking about the series? I started watching the series, and it was it was mainstream media, I'm not sure if there's a film. Yeah, that's from Brian Jeffs. So no, if there's a film, no, I haven't. Simon P. I'm exploring 70s and 80s music because I'm that bored with new music. And that's the trouble. A lot of the like I mentioned earlier, the banger underground songs of the month, right? A lot of that was 70s style, old Swedish rock, or and new wave of British heavy metal inspired type of stuff. So we do look back, but we don't take only what we need from that era. We don't take the swagger. We don't take the hooks and the choruses. We just take the sound and the stylistically of the genre. We just take that without anything that made it original, and because people used to say things like, "Oh, all thrash sounded the same." Slayer didn't sound anything like Overkill. Overkill didn't sound anything like Anthrax. You know, I mean, Testament didn't sound. I guess the closest was to Forbidden, but between the singers, they didn't sound anything. There was quite a lot of varied music, even with the genres that were aimed that people were saying, "Oh, it all sounds the same." What happened, to be honest, with thrash, was a lot of the copycats buried the scene because it got all of the local bands. They all started sounding like "And Justice for All," you know. So there were so many. I think the record labels were just so done with hearing the same demos being sent in over and over and over again. It was like a breath of fresh air when grunge, burst the bubble of thrash. Was it grunge? I think grunge. Death metal put a bit of a dent in thrash too. The we started going to the uh, more progressive death metal, started nipping away at it too, and then obviously Melodeath ruined the underground. Melodeath killed like a lot of cool scenes. It certainly, Melodeath helped kill industrial metal. It helped kill uh, thrash. It helped kill grindcore. Grindcore went down the tubes for a bit because everybody started. It was the Heartwork album. Everybody lost their minds over Heartwork, and then everybody started getting into bot mode, and then the American like Shadows Fall, things like that. It all started getting very. Uh, I didn't like Shadows Fall much, but I can understand the appeal. So yeah, yes. So stylistically, going back to the 70s and 80s, be careful. Just like think about the characters, the different singers, how different they sounded. They didn't try and sound like each other, you know. Like how different did Iron Maiden change up the singing? Ryan Swain. Another thing people don't talk about when the rock and metal is dead. People who want to form bands can't because the market is flooded with session guys. I've noticed that with a lot of bands. It's kind of like almost like a machine head type of thing, like a Megadeth type of thing, where they can't really keep a um they can't get away from the one big boy that's in it. They can't get it. It kind of overwhelms that one person, which is kind of what when I pointed at myself, it was the nerd guitarist that ruined rock and metal because it's all me, me, me rhythm. It's got to be riffs. It's got to be panned left and right guitars. It's got to be SM57 vintage. Everything becomes guitar riffs centric, and then the rest of the band are like an afterthought. So it, it's pretty. I do honestly believe that nerd guitar, mostly guitarists, it was mostly guitarists that ruined the underground of rock and metal because of the DAW era. I keep on saying it. You can see with the proliferation of the DAW, when everybody started using it, interest in rock and metal just went straight down. You can see it as soon as it gets popular, one goes down. So it makes no sense statistically. Statistically, like I said yesterday, a million musicians have access to VSTs and DAWs and home recording, and You can learn what took me 15 years. Now you can learn from one channel in maybe 6 months, and you can you'll know the fundamentals of everything. So it's like, and versus back in the 70s and 80s, you had about 700 bands that had access to multi-track recording in rock and metal, a year, not all of them. You know what I mean? It was a very limited amount of albums that actually came out over the years back then. So the quality, and a lot of that was because of pre-production, where they'd have to do pre-production to even get a record deal. You know what I mean? So these demos, the VSTs, the DAW, it should be a sketch pad to hand to the rest of the band for input. Not saying this is the song, because they might want to change, prolong a solo, or this starts to drag there, and then you can change the whole song around. But in practice space and get the bones of it. That's what I think will save metal. But it is so hard. We forget how hard it was to do back in how hard it was to get 4 people going in the right direction. Do you know how many fucking drummers I had to suffer in this godforsaken fucking swamp of Florida? The shit that I had to put up with. They have no money. They have crazy fucking girlfriends. Half of them are like drug addled. Yeah, drummers, dude. Shit. Trying to get a competent thrash drummer to learn a set before a gig, let alone, put his heart and soul into it. It's pulling teeth, man. So yeah, I think a lot of you in the chat, you guitarists, have had it with drummers. I mean, if I was to do it, maybe 20 years ago, if you became a really, really good drummer, you would have stood a chance. But now there's so much drum replacement, you don't need them, And now you can see a lot of hired guns popping in. So, okay, back to the comments. Good to do. Ben Hogan, hey Owen, the sausages should honor the boys who stomped Normandy today and play some Prime Victoria by Sabaton for a bit. Yeah. Like in Normandy. Let's all be happy that we are where we are right now. There's a lot of Russian bands, man, that I like. There's a lot of I like. Don't judge me. I really like Russian Gaba, like the hard bass, and some of the bands there are really, really. It's fun. It's a fun thing, right? Because when I was in the days of thrash, the British EDM scene was massive, and it was fun. It was fun, man. So I see a lot of these bands now through Russian bands through no fault of their own. They actually got banned from YouTube for being Russian, and they could not make money on YouTube just because they were Russian. So it's be thankful, guys. I mean, it's just a massive, massive coincidence that lobbyists and weapons companies seem to be making a massive profit right now. It's crazy, right? Like an all. I feel terrible for. Let's not talk about that. It's too heavy. Let's just complain about. Complain about shit. What do I have to complain about? I got all you lovely Valhalla sausages. You're all chilling. What's worse, going through drummers or going through vocals? Lol. Yeah, vocalists. I'm a bit lucky because I have the voice of a literal angel. It's adequate. I have an adequate voice. So I went through singers. You're right. Singers are a pain in the ass, and it forced me to become a singer. And then, wonderfully, I got issues with the same thing happened to the singer of Disturbed, where acid reflux washing over your vocal cords constantly, and mine are like fucked. They're damaged, so I couldn't sing a whole set without getting croaky. I'd probably have to do serious James Hetfield la, 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 for a couple of months to get my voice sorted out, because you can probably hear I'm generally kind of a bit raggedy. You know, that's why you can see me constantly sipping. What am I drinking today? Green Wise, it's from Publix, Florida. Lemon flavored sparkling water with other natural flavors. Mm. Yeah, singers, dude. The last singer that I had was in a Florida band called Champion Tree, and we were all right. No, not really. We for where we were at Stewart, Florida, we were good. But that singer kept on getting fired because I think he was into what pills? Oxys. Yeah, he was a big oxy head. It sucks because he had a nice family, nice wife, but those things, man, they get you. They get you. They were good guys though. Gabba. Hey, don't laugh at me like a Gabba. The old German shit. The old that scene was fun, man. I'd rather be in the 80s using tube analog gear and work with a proper producer than over digital modeling and self producing. It is. I mean, somebody said what they were asking me advice in the questions yesterday about what advice do you have for somebody starting a band, and I said the best thing you can do is to get a band house. So all of the band chip in on at least somebody's garage to do it out, and you meet there 3 or 4 times a week, right? And if you get a band house, or if there's a local hangout where you're always set up and you can all roll in whenever, um, this you will live a way better life because you'll be hanging around with four dudes drinking or coffee or whatever and bullshitting and laughing at each other's problems, and just you live in life. You're not getting carpal tunnel and staring at a screen for fucking literally thousands of hours. For what? For your mother to share your music on Facebook because nobody else will? You know what I mean? Dude, it sucks, man. So yeah, at least even if you fail doing it the analog way, even if you fail, you'll have much better stories. Because if you are playing locally, if you have a band house, now you can do what I'm doing now, is stream live, and you can do gigs every night. And if you're really, really good, people are gonna tune in. Have you seen some of the musicians on TikTok playing live? You guys will blow them out the fucking water, and they have tens of thousands of people watching them. You know, so people, that's why I said go on TikTok, because you have no competition there, and people now, like, there's more people on TikTok than Facebook apparently when it comes to hours and eyeballs. So even a band house playing live, utilizing these tools, you know, you might start making a bit of a part of the fuck you network. Now listen to me, right? The old ways. Uh, there used to be bars on every corner, especially where I was growing up in Swansea. There was a bars on every corner, and it used to be before disco really started, where you could only run the whole thing with one guy with a DJ. Before clubbing took over, there was bands playing every night. My dad used to play 2 gigs a night sometimes, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, as a teenager, as a 15-year-old, and he was earning more than his father through gigs, right? So now imagine, because I was talking about the Fuck You network earlier, where we could start a new underground digitally and stream ourselves playing live and things like that, right? Now, in the old scene, you'd have, let's say, The Who, right? The Who would be playing, and who was in the crowd watching this band with his arms crossed, saying, I can do better than him? It was Keith Moon. Keith Moon went to their gig, and he said, I can play circles around your drummer, get me in your band. And they did. Same thing will happen on the Fuck You network. You might be seeing a fucking sketchy, dodgy band and then say, that bass player is fucking amazing. And then say, hey, do you want to move to fucking Florida, bro? If you have a band house, they can move to Florida, bro. And that is how the underground was built back in the day. You'd be in CBGBs and there'd be a shitty band, but then you'd have somebody, some punk singer that was obviously head and shoulders, just oozed talent, and like everybody, people couldn't take their eyes off him, but he's in the shitty band. He would get pinched and put in a different band, and then all of a sudden, massive. Because part of what made the reason why there were so many amazing bands in the 70s, Queen and things like that. The reason why is because the musicians, that was the network. They were all networking, and they were all very competitive and going up against each other and stealing members, you know? So it's like, that could be, if we did invent a new underground called the Fuck You Network, I called it here first, that's the type of thing you could do. You could live stream on Twitch, you can live stream playing on TikTok, on YouTube, and the rest of it, and get hype. You never know, man. So that is my advice when it comes to, basically, you know me, I want the bones of the track at least. And a band house does that, where you can get solid on a song if you're there 3 or 4 times a week, or preferably live there, you know? Imagine living with a singer, though. Fucking hell. Brian Jeffs, Seaford Mods are one of the most interesting bands of new music. Sleaford Mods. They've been going for a long time, though. You can see, you might be able to know from this that I was a mod back in the day. Am I thinking of the right ones? The right Cockney geezers? Yeah, they're awesome. There's a lot of like with idols, things like that, where it seems to be a lot of people putting their accents on. Because when you hear the singer of idols talk, it's kind of posh sounding. But then as soon as he sings, all right, how's it going, governor? Who wants it? Who wants it? Who fucking wants it? You know what I mean? They start pretending to be a bit larger than life. Why not? I don't care, because they were fucking great. I love how we can give Ukrainian civilians Stinger missiles, but they want short-barreled rifles. Dude, all that will happen is that they will be given. We did this to the police. We actually militarized the police in America, not because they needed it. You'd have some police chief in a sleepy village being given an assault vehicle, where one tire for that vehicle would cost like 2 weeks of their budget. And like, what the fuck do we need this for? So what they were doing, lobbyists, they were convincing our retarded government to militarize the police with all the gear, the vests, everything, right? So basically, they were getting rid of the military stuff, painting it black, and then for an excuse to make new stuff. So a lot of to do with war, it was just profiteering. And things like in the Middle East, the war profiteering was out of control, where some people got snagged. Same thing happened to NASA, where they were charging like $20,000 for screws and stuff like that, just because it was the military. They knew they would go through. So there's a lot of war profiteering at the. I better not talk about it too much, just in case my stream gets cancelled because of fucking Big Brother. But in my opinion, war profiteering is going on when it comes to borders and Ukraine, and the Ukrainian people are going to suffer, and the Russian people are going to suffer. So Halliburton and all the rest of them can make their nut. It's sad to say. I don't think it's a just way to kill tens of thousands of people over borders. And the UN saber rattling. If the UN really cared about life, there would be zero encroachment. But so that's that. Maybe keep it to music, because it hurts, but I like it. Greatest album you've never heard of. What? That sounds familiar. I think did you suggest that on the Facebook group? That sounds familiar to me. That's from Adonis Paradise. Blackjack. How do we get Jazz Coleman to help us from our own country? Dude, Jazz, his advice is something that I took, and it said something to along the lines of get your own island and fortify it. Something to the words of that effect. It's much more eloquent and detailed than that, but that's a Jazz knows. Actually, when you think about it, Jazz has been through the original. Like I started talking recently about politics and the rest. I'll just keep this quick because I can go on and on about this stuff. But he was in the Cold War as a teenager, so the nuclear fear was massive back then, and the Reagan era, where that it's with Gorbachev and everything started. Actually, that was like squashed, thankfully. But up until then, it was like absolute terror for the public, thinking that there's going to be nuclear annihilation. Made for great music. That's an old. Everybody knows that. Like that, it's practically helped create punk. American hardcore style. But there's, I mean, how many in thrash, early thrash? How many zombie mosh apocalypse, nuclear assault? It was all like it was. But when it comes to Jazz Coleman, by the way, if you don't know, he's a Killing Joke singer, and he is one of the most interesting men, an absolute creative, just whirlwind, and a classical composer. He's done it all, man. So yeah, he is. If you want to, after the stream, go check out my video on Killing Joke, and it's one of my favorite videos that I've done. Talking about everything from devil worship to ley lines to harmonic frequencies of the earth to doing demos in literal pyramids, doing actually recorded music in the one of the great pyramids. You're living life, bro. Spoiler alert. What do I think of the band Enforcer? All right. Bit contrived. That was from Riley VW. Zeke. The Zeke, 1970. Are you my age? I was born in 71. I love how my taxes pay for missiles and corrupt politicians' pockets while living paycheck to paycheck. Seeing people are struggling everywhere. Very quickly, I'm going to be quick on the political stuff. In 1985, Joe Biden co-sponsored the bill that got Congress to start nation building in Afghanistan. In other words, he, along with Bush and a little bit of Reagan, it was the tail end of that, basically started the war on terror. And that is code for they funded bin Laden, because he used to be a CIA asset, to fight the Russians. Because you need a boogeyman. And this time around, we're back to Rocky 3, or was it Rocky 4, with Russia. But yeah, not only did we arm bin Laden, he turned our own weapons back on us when we abandoned him at that front. So, fun times, huh? So, Biden, low information voters thinking that there isn't a US politician alive that's killed and imprisoned more Muslims, black people, Mexicans, because his crime bill, that's fun. Do you know what his crime bill was? Where he strengthened the three strikes law, where if you're black, because if you have identical crimes as a white guy, you don't get the time, statistically. One guy got life in prison for stealing videotapes. It's like $100 worth of stuff. He got life because it was his third strike, and he happened to be the wrong color. Biden. Fucking hate him. What else? What was the question? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Biden. So yeah, he started the war on terror with the other fake politicians. None of them are left or right. None of them. they're all corporatists. And Biden's brother made millions as a gov contractor rebuilding everything we destroyed in the Middle East. Rebuilding, they don't build shit. It's like bridge to nowhere type of thing. You do a little bit, but Biden's brother was a construction contractor that made millions from Biden's legislation of destroying millions of innocent Muslims. Because when you fuck up the infrastructure, plus the embargoes, plus the literal bombing, you're talking millions displaced, killed. Fun times. But yeah, I feel you, man. Do fun times. All right, Zeke. Thanks for. I'm gonna get baited on politics a lot, aren't I? Maybe I'll have different streams with different titles for that. Okay, Abbey, Scotland flower. Oh, flower of Scotland. Recommend any good vocals methods. I remember there were two going around back in the day, but lost track of them. Yeah, if you search maybe, because if you search some of my stuff, it doesn't pop up. Even if you literally put things, circle of tone and my title, it won't pop up. But I do have top 10 tips on singing as a bedroom singer. So I'll just give you one tip, right? If you're sick, if you're ill, and you're singing mellow parts or even low guttural parts, when you're sick, first thing in the morning, wake up and go and do your vocals, because it acts as an expectorant on your vocals, and it's like I've reached some filthy lows when it comes to my vocals. When I was sick, I found that out when I was doing the typo negative stuff, because if you remember back in the day when my channel used to be good, I used to do things like Halloween, where I'd do lots of bands and stuff like that, and I'd always get sick at that time of year. Since then, I've started taking the flu vaccine, and it helps. The flu vaccine. I had to get COVID one too, because I had to go back to the UK to show my mother, my daughter, who was actually 2 years old by the time my mother saw it. That's how long COVID fucked up my mother's granddaughter greeting. All right, let's see. Yeah, so search for my circular tone vocals tips and see if it pops up. Do. Yeah. Tim S. Came here for the music talk, lost me mate later. Yep, no, I don't blame you. I wonder if I was saying maybe I should put a different title in for that as you were typing. Fuck this. Gothrocker7, $10. Thanks, man. Thanks for the super chat. Owen, great to see you. How the hell have you been? Good. What did I miss? What made you do a live stream? Still love your typo negative videos. Thanks, Rich. I did another typo negative video for Halloween, and it was terrible, so I didn't do it. What I wanted to do was red water, and by typo negative, but I love that band so much I wouldn't put out anything bad. So I had a fucking amazing artist as well that wanted to do some almost like a cartoon, not a cartoon, but a comic book for it, because he does Pete Steele art and everything. Let me see if I can get his at so I can give him. Let's see his last. What's his name? Give him a shout out, because I don't know his actual username off the top of my head. Sorry about the silencio. It's Lolos Vasilis. So it's Loloslosvasilis. S.Vasilis. So awesome, awesome artist. Go and check out his art. Super underrated. But I've been really good, man. And I will do Redwater. It'll be better to do that for Christmas, right? So maybe it'll take me that long to get a good one out. But I was thinking of taking my recreations because they take so long and it's so much effort, and YouTube takes all the money. Not that I care that much about the money aspect, but it irks me on a just the fact that they will take your money for say 15 seconds of music. Why isn't it? Say if my video is 30 minutes long or an hour long. Say if it's an hour long. Why don't they just get 30 seconds of revenue from that hour, or the percentage of the time from that hour? They claim the entire video. It's so corrupt, man. It's not even YouTube being clueless. It's literally corrupt. I love it. But yeah, thanks for the dono, man. Really appreciate it. And I've been really good. I've been concentrating on my daughter and fitness, and because here we go. I'm going to tell you a little story. We got a little bit of a family curse where my grandfather died when he was 56 and my father died when he was 56. So I've got another 4.5 years left. So I thought, because I had my daughter when I was practically 50, I think I was 49, my first child. So I don't want to be, that's why I'm trying to exercise more and everything. I don't want to be decrepit looking after my teenage daughter. You know what I mean? I just want to do it for her because I know how important it is to have good parents. I had really good parents. Even though my parents did separate when I was quite young, but they were still, especially my mother was so amazing. I want to be there like I was, because my mother gave me my father gave me a great help in life of just being loving. So I want to be around for her. So let's maybe when I turn 55, we can have a countdown of how long my death clock, and then we'll have a celebration when I hit 57. How about that? All right, back to the chats. There is a bit as well of like being a dad. It's fucking astounding of how hard work it is, of how much time it takes. So obviously my music is going to take a little bit of a backseat. All right, back to the comments. Oh, we lost the light. That means I'm rabbiting on. You still see me? Maybe you can't see my zits as good now. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the old comments. I don't want to miss any of you Valhalla sausages out. So if you want to ask questions, go ahead. Oh shit. Another Gothrock 7. Good to hear you're doing well. I lost 60 pounds myself. Awesome. 60 pounds. Fuck. Thoughts on the new Metallica album, 72 Seasons. I enjoyed it. Happy they're still shaking up the airwaves. Yep, the 80s are the best. The 80s are their best. Yeah, relatively for Metallica, their new album was better than the first couple of songs that they put out. But I got really mad at Kirk Hammett. And I got kind of mad at the style that they went. Check out my video on... Just search Circle of Tone and Metallica, and it'll be one of them. I've done quite a few videos on Metallica, but it'll be the most recent one where I say, has Kirk Hammett quietly quit? Because he started actually ripping off himself on that album, playing licks that he's already played in the past on different songs, and his memory can't be that bad. So he's, I think Kirk Hammett, he's been through so much shit with his band. I mean, the drama and the drugs. And I honestly think that he quietly quit a long time ago, so he's going through the motions, and some of these motions are like muscle memory, and he's doing the same thing. And yeah, and I also think the bass player needs to step up because listening to the bass on some of it, it's he's way better um than what is being represented on these albums. You know. So yeah, thanks again, man. Oh, MC, thanks for the 10, man. Descanting the Insalubrious has quickly become my favorite Carcass album. Oh my god. What do you think about it? Also, same guitar amps as Heartwork. A question mark. I didn't find out what the gear they used on that. And it's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah, Carcass. I think. Which one? Which one was my favorite Carcass? I don't know. They're all. I don't think even the newer ones they were so good. I can't crack on that band at all. They were all like different. Some of them sound like different bands, but I do crack on them for inventing Melodeath, for hyping Melodeath, you know, because then everybody followed and then ruined rock and metal. But yeah, you can't go wrong with any of their albums, man. I think Reek. I think Reek is my favorite. It's been a while. Do. All right, we're getting there to the comments. I'm sorry, but my chat bot this thing crashes, so then I gotta be down here like an old man. Do. Adonis Paradise. Question: Is Ghost the only post 2000 band which can fill a 5,000 plus room? There's not many. I mean, when people start talking about Gojira and stuff, they were from the 90s. So it's like, you know, Ghost is getting on as well. You know, Ghost are getting on. For brand new bands, I mean, let me think. Um, who's going to have enough hype to do 5,000 plus? Uh, yeah, it's a good question. Put your suggestions in the chat about who you think that could fill them, and maybe I'll check them out. I think the Code Oranges and the people like that, I think they're 1,000 seater venues um, around that if they were headlining a tour, you know. Now, if they're playing hometowns, then they can fill, you know, much bigger. But good question. Trivium formed in 1999. I remember the first second that I saw Trivium, and they were on. I actually didn't find them on the underground. They just came out of nowhere for me on MTV in the night, in probably then, and straight away I thought, and Justice for All. They were like end level boss when it came to being influenced by Metallica. I think even they will admit that. But yeah, I knew straight away that they were going to be huge. I knew it, relatively huge. You know, I love how driven Trivium are as a band. You know, they're very dedicated. They're very professional. They're fucking solid. You know, I actually envy them. I envy that aspect of those guys because you know I think I had enough skill to do ABC, but the I was so concentrating on the music side of it, I didn't really think about the business side of it. And they're good. They're good at that aspect, you know. Do do do. Let's have a look. Look. All right. We got Scotland Flowers. All the metal bars in my city got nuked by COVIDs. R.I.P. Just for that, Gates. Bill Gates should face an international tribunal. If you're wondering why we talking about that, about a while back, I was talking about that. So it's been a while. I'm going to be going slow through the comments. Maybe I'll speed it up a bit. Yeah, Bill Gates. Interesting story about Bill Gates. The guy that caused the lockdowns in the USA, the one person that's mostly responsible for it, was a Professor Neil Ferguson in the UK. And he used a computer model, to figure out how many people were going to die from COVID. In the past, he's done the same models on bird flu, on swine flu, and all these. And his old models were so far off wrong that literally criminal. They were so far off. It was like something, I don't know what the numbers were. His avian flu prediction from his model was, but it was something like, hundreds of thousands of deaths. And it was something like 27 people died. Something that ridiculous, So Trump locked down the USA from advice from Fauci, because of Neil Ferguson's. The main one was because of Neil Ferguson's model, and he was actually that the university or whatever that Neil Ferguson was attached to was paid for by Bill Gates. And because people wanted access to the software of that did the modeling, because I was a software test technician back, so all the software test techs were asking, can we have the code? And they said they wouldn't give the code. They would give it for review to Microsoft. Who owns Microsoft? And they changed it to make it better. After the fact, though, we'd already locked down for about a year. And even after they fixed it, it was still wrong. So, yeah, Bill Gates. What a gangster, man. Absolute. Sometimes, like I said yesterday, sometimes you got to take your hat off at how fucking devious these people are. Fun times. All right. Blackjack. I'm sorry, I'm going to miss a few. Adonis Paradise, I've Mastodon, Trivium. Blackjack. I lived in a band house for 2 years and we didn't get anything done because we couldn't find a drummer worth the crap. Yeah, the drummers are the hardest part. The drummer's definitely the hardest part. In that case, if I was you, I'd magically become an industrial metal band. You think about it. Don't give an excuse. There's so many excuses. You gotta fucking keep going, man. Travis Spaulding. Oh, he's just responding to Adonis Paradise. Christopher D. Singers and drummers are tough. Haha. Fuck yeah. Some of the stuff. I mean, literal fights in the room where I'm having to break them up and put one over my shoulder and carry them outside. It's great. Bob Partika. Sorry I'm late. What did I miss? Did you talk about indestructible noise commands yet? No. Sorry, man. I'll get right to it. Christopher D. No doubt you have a good drummer, and yeah, their girlfriend will suck. Yeah. Oh, the girlfriends, man. Drummers. There is something slightly scattered about a lot of them. They're usually very driven for the drum aspect of it, with the coordination, this, that, and the other. They can't coordinate their lives worth a shit. Maybe I just got unlucky. From Julian. Hey, Julian. How's it going? You're old school Circle of Tone, bro. Thankfully, I'm in an isolated town in Southeast Alaska. Oh my God. Really? Shit. How are those mosquitoes? With more unregistered SBRs and suppressors than people, we get no gun crime. Yeah. And you need them there. Those grizzlies. From Transparent, morning from Denmark. Good morning. Where's Denmark? Is that 6 hours ahead of us? What time is it? Yeah. Is it 6 hours? I don't know. Ben Hager. Your thoughts on Halo Bullets? They did a great record years ago with Dan Swano. Record was A Frost and War. Didn't catch that one. I did. because I'm the internet's neckbeard, so nothing gets past me, my net. I 100% did, and I forgot all about it. Sure. Tim asked, "Come here for the music talk." Lost me, mate. Later. Yep. Go double mask. Ryan Swain. Rock and metal musicians have issues with staying with members, thinking they can change members and not paying for promotion to have their band grow. Yeah. Yeah. Well, my advice really, when it comes to promoting and that type of thing, the best promotion you can do is really, 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 really grind at your music. Like really, but make sure you put it out. Because I know I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you right now. How many songs did you start that are on your DAW that you started 10 years ago and you still haven't fucking finished it? How many finished songs are on that goddamn SSD of yours? If you don't finish it, you don't put it out, nobody's gonna know. Like people, like I know guitarists, I'm the same. I'm the same. Where just working on it, I just need this pedal to make it better. Oh, I just need this. Oh, but I need this different snare sample. And all of a sudden, you've got 2,000 song titles. You know, song finished 1 May 3. Yeah, right. Good luck with that. Ivy Scotland Flower. Love the political talk. Keep it a coming. Okay, I will. You know, I can't help it in this climate. You know, transparent. My music is me, not you. Goes for everyone. Yeah, it's in the eye of the beholder. It all depends. Like I'm kind of envious of the TikTok craze of new metal that's going on. There's a lot of Zoomers loving new metal, but imagine like hearing a lot of these bands for the first time because it did have a nice. Remember, we were all sick of grunge and the Jarl voices, all the deep introspection. It was kind of fun when new metal came around, even though I was still, eternal hipster and hating it, but then still like saying, you know what, these gigs are kind of fun. So yeah, I'm kind of envious of people discovering certain black metal, certain uh, new metal, because it's great, right? Because the first time you come across it, it's like you've uncovered something. There is nothing better being a teenager and finding a new scene. There is nothing better. I wish I could bottle it, dude. How lucky was I coming across metal when thrash was just starting? What glorious timing! What amazing stories I have because of that scene. You know, I kind of feel bad now because the new music that's coming out, it's for metal at least. It's like City Morgue, and it's kind of it's not easily accessible for a lot of people because there's a lot of, I'm not saying bad, but uh, I won't say it. I was going to talk shit, but I'm not going to say it. Did I just diss industrial metal? What the fuck? Did I? I don't think I did. Or was that somebody else in chat? Uh oh. Christopher D. Thanks, man. Thanks for that $20. Jesus Christ. You guys are too cool. Kirk got weird from Christopher D. That's an understatement. I was actually made fun of Lars and Kirk. There's a photo of them with a lot of eyeliner on and dressed like just terrible late 90s. That's phase they went through. And I was like, fucking, how much powder were they on back then? How much cocaine to think that they were looking cool? Oh my God. Kirk, I love Kirk. I think he's like a really, really genuine good person. I really love him. I love the horror nerdiness of him. I love how he's starting to appreciate, you know, Les Pauls and the old pickups and stuff like that. Because he recently said, maybe active pickups aren't for me. Took him long enough, like fucking half a century. But yeah, I can't. Even though I said Kirk is phoning it in now, I don't blame him because the band must be a nightmare to deal with. You know, Kirk did get weird. I kind of like weird though. It's kind of fit. He's surfing all the time. Ben Hauger, if you listen to Metallica's current music, you're soulless and you need help. Hey man, some people are such. If you watch my last Metallica video I did, where I did some heavy critique on them, um, and I was actually what made me do that comment was the nice comments that were in response to um Suicide Song and all that. It's like because it was such a gold star type of thing where they were like, "Oh, guys, I'll always rock you. This is way better than your more recent stuff. Really digging it and that and the fans are so fucking nice. I love it. I love it." And that kind of tagged up me if I was on the other side where it was slightly patronizing, saying, good job and this is a improvement on your last one, and nobody's saying like this is your best ever. It's like it would if it was me seeing these. Oh, I'll always be a fan regardless of this shit music, because they don't say that, but that's what they're saying in the comments. And if I was just put out that music, I'd be like, oh, they love it, despite they because Metallica give everybody so much, they give me so much that even though I will talk shit, only because it'll I think they're too far gone now. I mean, 60 years old and the rest of it. It's fucking God bless them for lasting as long as they did. But something in me still thinks that the riffs from Call of Cthulhu, the same riffs that did Battery, or even the slower stuff, right? Like Orion, he's still that guy. So if you're slowing down when you're older, Orion is a slow riff. Why can't you tap into that creativity that you once had instead of ripping off early Mustaine era Metallica with the mechanics? Is everyone saying it sounds like a cross between Kill 'Em All and it's kind of like a cross between Kill 'Em All and the albums after the Black Album. It's like a cross between the two. All right, I'm going to miss a few comments because you can probably hear I'm getting a bit hoarse. A little hoarse. I need my horse paste. Blackjack. Whenever I hear Stains, it's been a while, I always picture a morbidly obese guy singing about it, about a chocolate cake. A little inside joke on my channel. Every time I say it's been a while, I'll sing it. It's been a while since candles lit your face on fire. Yeah, he's a happy little soul, isn't he? All right. Yeah, on the question, Simon P is saying like there was a question asked what band that was formed recently could sell out a 5,000 seat venue on their own, and it's kind of hard to come up with somebody new, that's in their a teenage band that can fill a 5,000 stadium. A stadium that's like a large theater, I guess. Maybe that's a stadium 5,000, right? And Simon P said, yeah, most of these big metal bands were already formed by the 90s. MC, Polyphia and Periphery. I don't like them at all, but they are the most mainstream rock and metal bands that I hear non-metalheads talk about. Yeah, yes, especially Polyphia recently. Uh, I still think we're in a little bit of a bubble when it comes to them. I always mention, like, if you ask, 1,000 people in an airport or a mall or where normies live, I still don't think Polyphia they won't be able to hum a tune. I don't think. They might know who he is because there's a whole band and everybody concentrates on one guy, but because they got a great image and everything, and so it's like Polyphia. For hats off. The only thing I complain about is that everybody copying them, because that this is off the fucking charts right now with a semi-clean tapping ad nauseum. I actually call it post-progressive. And nobody laughed at my joke. I think that's one of the funniest things I've ever said. Post-progressive. It's so progressive, it's past progressive. It's in the future of progressive. It's like the old bad news joke. It's It's more futuristic than futuristic metal. Laughing at my own jokes. Black Ritz metal classics. Owen, what do I think of Soviet heavy metal bands such as Aria, August, Master, etc.? Personally, I think they are more punk you said it, than actual punk, since they played band music under under a regime. It's too late for me to say authoritarianism. Fucking my brain's gone. Yeah, a lot of the German bands, they kind of German bands, a lot of the Soviet heavy metal bands, they were risking it. They were risking it for the biscuit. A lot of the bands were, especially if it's protest music. There's not a lot of that over there. Yeah, you actually answered your own question. Barbatika, the heartwork tone, especially on Buried Dreams, that tone is brutal. That's what I say where I complain about that album ruining metal. That I don't blame the originators. I don't blame Carcass, because it was just the bots that copied them after that, and then you get the In Flames and all that type of stuff. But it's so amazing that album still holds up as a modern metal classic, but it's really old. It's an old album, and if you want to know how that tone was got, search Circle of Tone and that band, and it's a convoluted story of what they used, but it's basically a 5150 mostly. Frankenstein cab and this, that, and the other, but close miking on regular cabs will get you close. I got close ish with a copy of a 5150. There's another amp mixed in with it a little bit, Yeah, hard work at the gates in flames, exactly. Cascades Explorer, Owen, you're on a roll with the live chats, mate. Thank you. I intend on doing them as often as I can. Joshua Daniel, you don't have to dox yourself or anything, but what town in Florida do you live in? I used to live in Orlando and in Tallahassee, and I have my family in Fort Myers. I am on the Treasure Coast of Florida. So I've lived actually in Orlando, Oviedo, I've lived in Tampa, I've been all over the place. But yeah, and I think this might be my last year here, depending on what pops up. But I'm a little bit done with Florida, and internal flights are kind of cheap. It's not too bad, depending on where you move in Florida. So I wouldn't, the grandmother thing, taking Sally away from a grandmother who she loves, that would be hard on her. So it's like weighing it up. But I'm kind of done with Florida. MCU, I remember of Frost and War. Huge online hype at that time, if I remember correctly. I did like some songs on it. Yeah. Rally VW, what would you think of a music scene coming from the Midwest, more specifically Wisconsin? Wisconsin metal. Hey, maybe that's where the Fuck You Network should start its base of operations. The Midwest. Yeah, this a lot of good scenes came from there, like Seattle, because they have basements and stuff. So the basements should make, in my opinion, basements should make a comeback. Basement gigs, but then noise ordinance laws, and we talked about that yesterday about how corporatism is stopping scenes when it comes to the police. Like if you brought out a big 5,000 seater venue within, and you got a really good network, and you're starting to book big bands, all of a sudden, mysteriously, you're going to be getting a lot of fire marshals turning up to gigs. Just just so happens that Ticketmaster and fire marshals, they'll be sending. I don't know what a coincidence, huh? All the little red tapes will be all the. Do you have a license for these cover versions that these bands did? You know, there'll be questions asked if you try to compete with Clear Channel Networks and Ticketmaster and iHeartRadio, iHeartMedia now. Simon P. The old thrash guys are hard on melodic death metal, but I really, really like the whole scene in the early 90s. So yeah, dude, the 90s uh with melodic death, it it was great. It was great, but it got a bit too melodic, a bit too perfect, and the death aspect of it started going a little. It wasn't impactful because it got a bit too nice and polite, and uh, it became a parody. Brutal technical metal. They tried even to force it that way, but MC for me, it's lacking a solid drummer, but I'm just being lazy. I just need to put the work in, being thorough and patient with drum programming. MC, don't bother with the drum programming. It's pointless. Everybody does it, and nobody makes it. Nobody goes anywhere. Only do it to write. That's your little sketch pad. Don't actually base your actual released music on that, because it's a failed model. Unless you're fucking amazing at it. But even if you are amazing at it, even then, it's vanilla sausage. Yeah, Avi Scots and Flowers. At least 200 songs on my hard drive. Haven't finished one of them. Yeah, I told you. I know my people. These are my people. MC, Children of Bodom blew my mind. Yeah. R.I.P. Black Rich Metal Classics. Talk shit, we want to hear it. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know. But sometimes there's a fine line between me, my negativity, and then sometimes I catch myself and think I could say it, but it's not going to accomplish anything. And sometimes people actually like my channel and they like my opinion. All of a sudden, I'm talking shit about them. It's like I put myself in I put myself in their shoes sometimes, where what I say isn't going to impact anything or do nothing. It's just going to be being shitty. I like to point out the big shit things in life. Like even when I talk shit about Periphery, I make sure I give them their flowers for starting the genre, and then on the next breath I'll say that they ruined the scene because of the bots, but they didn't. It was the bots that ruined it. But that type of thing, So you can be constructive with the criticism. Maybe I will talk shit. I don't know. Depends on my mood, I guess. Blackjack, Swans, Fear Factory, Jody Mitchell combined. Nice. Hey, that's original. I actually made myself think the other day, where I was thinking about scenes that haven't been copied. The mod scene recently, the Sleaford mods were mentioned, but when it comes to guitar music, you know, There's not a lot of mod bots out there because the mod scene itself was so different. All the bands sounded different, you know. But the swagger was there. I wouldn't mind. Look, I'm dressed like a mod, so why not? Mods, mods. Ryan Swain. People in rock and metal always settle for mediocrity but expect greatness. It's like buying a Toyota Corolla thinking it's a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. What do people expect? Yeah. We have settled. The DAW is already everybody, all the producers. Nobody's thinking about it. Nobody's thinking about, wait a minute, these old school producers that used to have loads of hits, since they've gone in the box, the hits have dried up. But nobody's even talking about it. It's the new, it's how we do it now. Nobody's thinking, but rock and metal just died. Should we at least question why? And why are guitarists usually the ones that are making the music? Why is because they're nerds. I guess it's because there's more of us. Holy shit. Julian, $50. Thanks, man. Jesus Christ. You're the man. I appreciate it. I almost missed that. Thanks, Julian. Old school. No school like the old school. I see you out there, brother. $50 super. That's my first. That's the most I've ever had, by the way. And thanks. That's actually $50 is more than what I make in the average month from YouTube revenue. Because I do so many covers and stuff. I think I average probably about 50 a month from YouTube revenue. I earn so little, I usually don't get paid because I think you got to hit an $100 threshold. So yeah, it's life is tough on the YouTube streets. It's not like I'm a huge channel though, you know. All right. No school like the old school. Yeah. Double-edged sword now though, because like everybody's trying to copy the new wave of British heavy metal and the old black metal. So it's like, oh, why? How do we get these kids out of this loop? You know, there was a fun time in the '90s where some bands were going a bit weird. You know, like Stone Temple Pilots got put in the grunge aspect of it, but for a band that was getting massive hits, actual hits, some of their songs were pretty eclectic. You know, relatively, I'm talking relatively about getting hits. I think they have a jazz. They got from a jazz background. And check out search Circle of Tone and Stone Temple Pilots, and I show you how they got the guitar sound for Atlanta. She lives by the door. Would I ever make a video about how to get Lemmy's bass tone? Yeah, that'd be a good Fat Strings Friday. Basically, it's one of these, but with a different. It's a which is my plexi. It's one of these, pretty much, but the bass version of it. But then I maybe use the guitars one too. So I think off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure he just uses Marshall. Speakers are important though. I'd love to know specifically exactly what he used on Ace of Spades. If anybody knows that, let me know, and I'll definitely do it. I don't know the guitars on there. I remember researching it in the past. I couldn't get any decent info on it, and now he's dead. They're all dead. That recorded that album. Fucking hell. Oh, Lemmy. All roads lead to Lemmy when it comes to thrash and black metal. No Lemmy, no thrash, no black metal. They were all trying to copy him. Actually, they're trying to outspeed him. I love Lemmy. What an absolute legend. Never got to meet him. Yeah, Adonis Paradise. He's answering to Jacko. Lemmy just plays the bass through guitar and through Marshall. Yeah, I think so. Blackjack, isn't black metal just Norwegian shoegaze? Fucking spot on, man. There's a lot of that. The yeah. And that's the large part of the appeal of it. I get it, man. I get it. I take the piss out of black metal so much, but if you've just discovered that, it can be a nice soundscape, a nice mellow. It's just I've heard it so much for 35 years of the same tropes, you know, the blast beats, the trem picking, minor chords, and anguish screams in the forest. I just can't. It's upset me. It's actually upset my feelings. I'm literally butthurt about it, about how many amazing musicians that have all this skill and imagination, and they just put themselves in that box because it's cool and they get black metal cred apparently, even though I think the history is a bit different to what was painted in the glorification of the documentaries and the hushed tones that people talk about black metal. Man. Blackjack, that's pretty funny. Black metal, just Norwegian shoegaze. MC, Gib riffs, please. Gib. You know my nickname is Gibbs. Scotland Flower, RV. I'm a riff hoarder. Yeah. Do you shit in a jar as well, like the other hoarders? So talking about James Hetfield, I was talking about why not slow down to the Orion type of riffs and creativity if he's getting old, you know? And Ben is saying the only way to get that out of James is to challenge him musically. Dave and Jim should write a few tracks together to try and outdo each other. That would actually be godlike. I remember I said that Kirk should just quit Metallica instead of quietly quitting. Imagine how crazy it would be if Dave Mustaine got back in Metallica. Never's going to happen. Never going to happen. Even Kerry King, because he was in Megadeth for a second, he said, I don't know how anybody can stay in a band with Dave Mustaine because he's fucking crazy. And he is. He voted for Santorum. That's some fucking garbage right there. But good point. James, I think James needs, I think chemical dependence, alcoholism, I think it's slightly the amount that he did and the amount of getting your brain zapped constantly by adrenaline from gigs. Unfortunately, I think it's taken its toll on him. Creative is creative. It's the only explanation I have for somebody who went from that creative to what's coming out today. Like, did he rip off his guitar teacher or something? Was this? Did he steal all of his guitar teacher's riffs? I know there's a few like Diamond Head and stuff like that that he's pinched and he pinched off Dave Mustaine. Was there somebody that died that James was using as like a ghostwriter for all these time? Because compared today's to then, it's like I made a joke. I said, "Did a bot write this? You know, is this AI just jumbling up old Kill 'Em All tracks and coming up with tab, and then he's reading the tab? I don't know, dude. It's like a different person, you know, different person that's influenced by Metallica. Somebody Welsh, just fuck then, influenced by Metallica. Good point though. He does need to be challenged. Kirk isn't challenging him. Let's be honest, right? You know, Kirk is a bit of a riff meister himself, but he's good with the groovy riffs. Underrated. AV Scotland Flower. He's hiding riffs from the public because he won't finish his songs. It takes him forever to classify them properly with the tempo, rhythm, and which songs they might belong to. There's a trick to that. Get the ones at the same tempo that you've written. There might be other songs that can overlap, and sometimes when you play a fast thrash riff slow at a different tempo, sometimes it opens up some interesting stuff. I did that on if you search Circle of Tone. Actually, don't even search because it never pops up because YouTube hates me. I look for my own music and I can't find it. It's fucking annoying. But I brought out an album when I was a bot on the forums back in the day. It took me a long time to write it, and it's called Talk, Tock, and the album's called I Don't Care. And so if you want to listen to my old music when I was learning how to uh, record and everything, I have an album out. You can search it. It is on YouTube somewhere. Rally VW, post progressive, so pretentious. Yeah, dude. It's so funny. Simon P. Hey, Simon. It was somebody else that asked the stadium question, but I still appreciate the answer. All right. Hey, you getting, you like those YouTube bots get stealing people's royalties. You getting the questions. Blackjack. Sure, I do like Metallica, but let me rephrase. They have a long history of douchey behavior. I like that, though. I like the Some Kind of Monster. I love character in people. There's a lot of people that are even killed, and it's part of the pie for me when somebody is a pain in the ass. Like I was talking yesterday about Blackie Lawless. Could you be more of a douche than Blackie Lawless? He's coming out with a tour, celebrating the first Wasp album, and none of the original members are being invited. How are you celebrating that? It's he's a meme. So I keep on saying there's not enough assholes in rock and metal, and that's why I like Lars, because he is an asshole and he gets his way. You got to respect that. There would be no Metallica if it wasn't for him on the phone back in the day in the Killamall era. He spent fucking thousands on the phone overseas, talking to fanzines, talking to everybody. He got shit done, man. Bovine deherder. So you're a hunter. Metal and rock isn't dead. The corporate overlords push vapid pop and lame hip hop since about 2008. Agreed. I've been hearing amazing indie rock and metal for a long time. Music's been monopolized. Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. But I think amazing indie rock and metal for a long amazing. What I do is I put it in the, like somebody brought up Code Orange and I whispered into the microphone. Queen, Prince, Metallica, Code Orange. It just doesn't stand up to the whatever bands that you think are up there. Because I'm an old git. I know the scenes, the undergrounds. I've been to the epicenter of some of the biggest gigs of all time to know what was going on when it comes to relative. And obviously now you can be relatively huge with online because streaming is different from gigs, streaming numbers and things like that. So you do have metrics that you can see how big a band actually is. And there's a lot of surprises out there. Like a lot of Screamo is making a bit of a comeback when it comes to plays, the emo stuff. So there is a lot of good stuff out there, but a lot of your music is good. A lot of the guys in the comments' music is good. I would listen to their if you search Circle of Tone in Facebook, we have a group. I listen to their music all the time rather than listen to the Metallica. It's better. So there is a lot of good music out there, but there's nothing that is going to break us back into where we were at nu metal. When people take the piss out of nu metal, I'd fucking give anything for a lame ass scene to pop up, because some of the greats, popped out of the thrash scene when it popped off. Some of the greats came out of that, So, yeah, it's relative. When I say it's not literally dead, obviously. But I hear you, man. MC, I blame At the Gates more than Carcass, honestly. Yeah, they were up there. I've actually mentioned them in that video of what killed, what basically brought on the advent of modern metal recordings. They're a big one. You're right. They're a big one, but not as big as Carcass. Carcass is the I think that was, if you could point at any of them, Carcass is a big one. An underrated one is Nevermore. They were underrated when it came to vanilla sausages, because so many musicians were into Nevermore. So not so much the public, but they caused a lot of us bedroom guys to think, holy shit, how do we sound like this? And they were an underrated aspect of the influence on the modern metal sound. And Nevermore, fucking amazing. Fucking amazing live. God damn, they were good. Shout out to any Nevermore fans in the chat. I bet you there is. Because what I just said, you guitarists, you know what's up. But you're right. You're definitely right. Those Europeans, they fucked up. They're still fucking it up. Now, European metal, they're still, like I mentioned earlier, when the Headbanger Banger TV, the indie albums of the month, the underground albums, metal, I'm getting tired. A lot of them are just copying. The black and roll and the new wave of British heavy metal, new wave of Swedish metal is probably going to pop off soon. You heard it here first. Obituary End is Complete was my jam. Oh, so good. Obituary, man. I did search Circle of Tone Obituary. I did a video. I got the gear wrong. I got the gear. They did use the gear that I said that they used, but just on the album later on. They actually used a JCM 800 on my favorite album, and I could not get it to sound like that spot on. I got way closer with the valve state. I got really close with the valve state. So at that time, I didn't check as much. It actually, thanks to you guys telling me I'm wrong, even though it hurts when it happens, you really help me out sometimes. I just don't like it when you say I'm playing something wrong. It's like, who fucking cares if I'm playing the wrong chord in the recreations? If I get the gear wrong, it's like a spear to my heart. Yeah, but MC at the gates, yep. A lot of vanilla sausages were launched by that band. Christopher D, I listen to a lot of indie stuff. It's not dead, but the discovery of it isn't working. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, indie is better. Way better than metal when it comes to actually having a few original ideas popping off. Lemon Twigs is funny because they remind me of Badfinger. So the Lemon Twigs, they're a 20-something band, underrated. They're one of my favorite indie bands. They brought a new album right now. I haven't listened to it yet. Ryan Swain, funny story. Watching your video got me out of corrupted charges. I was football tackled and defended myself. What's this? The chat just went up, so I missed it. Ryan Swain sent a DM about the time you got me out of a corrupted ADW charge for reporting on abuse that happens to other people with disabilities, the non-verbal and cannot communicate. Shit. Read it, chat. I can't actually check my DMs right now because I'm losing chat right now. But fucking hell. MC, when Lemmy died in 2015, I finished a bottle of Jack that night and crashed my car. Fucking, I'd say rock and roll, but I'm not going to say nothing. All right, I'm missing a lot of comments. I'll try and speed it up. Yeah, I'm missing a lot of comments. Sorry, guys. Good TV, yeah? Me just looking at my phone. I wish my chatbot would work. It's kind of better than it was. Hey, I'm getting actually some Twitch. Twitch. I got like 0 followers on Twitch, but something's happening in Twitch land. That's funny. I mean, need my glasses. Speaking of old, let's see what Twitch has to say. I bet they're going to talk shit. What's up, Stinky? That's a nice. Congratulations on your first chat comment on Twitch. What's up, Stinky? How's it hanging? What we talking about? Well, Drew P. Boyles, Droopy balls. Droopy balls. What are we talking about? Let's say we're talking about corporatism. We're talking about uh, basically about how Kermit Kammett should quit Metallica. Never mind. Lots of stuff. But yeah, there you go. It's happening on Twitch, people. I'm going to be the next Dr. Disrespect and then get banned. I love that guy, by the way. Just Dr. Disrespect. It's fucking amazing. All right, but I'm going to call it a day soon. I'm going to roll through these comments pretty quick. Yeah, a lot of you talking amongst yourselves, but I'm going to actually research a decent live bot where I can just like look at the screen and not look at my phone. But Streamlabs sucks balls. I know, Julian, you donated 100 before. Yeah, that's what I said. I remember you. Love it. Yeah, Julian, just give him some love in the chat, man. $50 donation, looking madman. Love it. Yeah, yeah. Bob, my mentions are like 10 minutes behind. Yeah, I know, because some of the answers that I do go on a bit. So I'm good. This is my third stream, so I'm gonna get a little bit better in the future. But yeah. Explorer 213, you deserve a hand job, Julian. Yeah, he does. Some sloppy toppy. Julian, it's not really a donation though. It's payment for the Alice in Chains Tone video. That's one of the ones that actually started my channel off. So I did a few videos before that, but that one got me some traction. Gothrock7, Owen, I still support you on Patreon. Love the live chat. That's fucking cool, man. Yeah, next time out, I had a new Patreon recently, $10, which is fucking great. So let me shout them out right now. Let me have a look. So yeah, if you search Circle of Tone and Patreon, you can sign up for monthly, because what I'm thinking of doing is doing my tone recreations, like I mentioned, Type O Negative. I'm doing Red Water. I'm going to limit my tone recreations to Patreon, and just because I don't think I give enough back to the patrons. To be honest, it's just there. It's good for people that use it, but I think that'll be cool. But if you just ask me for a link, if you don't have enough money for Patreon, I'll just send you a link to it if you ask. Say in this Circle Term Facebook group or something, because I might miss it, New patrons. No patrons in the last 30 days. There's someone. Who is it? I gotta shout you out. This is great TV. Jim. Thanks, Jim. Jim E. Thank you. All right, back to comments. Sorry, chaps. Let's do a speed round. It's gonna be yes or no answers only. Ben Howard, just give me $50. This is crazy. Thanks, man. That means a lot. It means a lot, dude. I make no money from YouTube, so this is fucking cool. So keep me going. It's nice to know, because I got only was it 40,000 subs. It's a small channel, but some of the just chatting, like I answered you. I don't think there's a YouTuber that answers more questions in comments on YouTube than me, honestly, when it comes to the rate, So it's like you guys are. Obviously, I'll respond to the negative ones more often because it's kind of fun. But you guys are fucking awesome, man. Oh, there's a problem with my server. Thanks, man. Ben, you're the man. Appreciate it. I'm going to do the comments from now. So Ben, after that $50 banger. Oh, the people are thanking Ben in the chat too. Thanks. Keep the faith. Love your channel. Thanks, man. Yeah, give him a thumbs up. That is solid as hell, dude. But what a hellhole Twitch is. Twitch is fucking. How could they get rid of Doctor Disrespect for nothing? That's fucking crazy. He was the best thing. I actually left after that. I stopped watching. Julian, give me a kiss. Okay, Simon B. I imagine World's vocals on Nevermore. You probably didn't like it either. Um, I loved his vocals. It was cheese. It was like on talking about Nevermore, but I grew to love it. I grew to love his vocals. He got very a lot of cheese on that taco with some of his vocals. My friend, but I think he means what he says when he sings. He's not doing the boy band vocal. Like he's dripping with emotion because he is singing about shit that he really like his friend going getting life in prison, probably because of Biden, his crime bill, for getting life for weed. You know, I'm not sure if it was life, but it was like a ridiculous sentence that his friend got, and he wrote a song about it. I think. All right, Bob Peccata. I can never get past the vocals of Obituary. Yeah, it's for death metal though. He was one of the best. But I get it. You know, it's pretty. I don't think he even had proper lyrics. He just like would gurgle. Simon P. Jeff's solo album and Conquering Dystopia was serious listening for me at the time. It made me want to get a seven string for ages. His string gauge for is it Neon Dreaming in Neon Black or was it? I think it was the Narco Synthesis era. His fucking string gauge is insane, like bass strings. I think it was a lie. I think Andy Sneap said it on his forum. It's like, are you fucking serious? It seems like unplayable. I think they might be trolling us. I can't remember what the string gauge was for the whatever the lowest tuning was, which I can't remember off the top of my head. But all right, Randy Greer, indie is the best thing going when it comes to music. Yep, Goth Rock 7, Dreaming in Neon Black and Nevermore. Hell yeah, Ben Hoa. How do you say? Is that how you say your last name, Ben? Is it Haga or Hawa? Jeff Loomis auditioned for Megadeth when he was 15. Dave declined because we can't have a teenager in Megadeth. The reason he declined was because they were doing way too much fucking meth back then. And they couldn't have a teenager in there around their drug paraphernalia and them being out of their minds thinking that they have. Dave thought bugs were under his skin. You got dark, man. So yeah, Nevermore. Jeff would have been fucking amazing in Megadeth. Yes, Nevermore. Jeff Loomis is one of my all-time favorites. Me too, man. What Nevermore did for me was very quick because I gotta get through these comments. Was he was just as good as rhythm as he was at his solos, and his solos were fucking god level. So how amazing is it that you can be like Testament by one guitarist, where you can come up with those amazing rhythms and those fucking amazing early solos of Testament, and then faster and lower, and actually, I'd put his riffs up there with Testament, maybe even better in some. And I love Testament. So imagine all that rolled into one, and he can write songs. I think Conquering Dystopia, vanilla sausage. I said it. I couldn't get past the production. It was fucking flat for me. I know somebody said that they liked it, but it was too flat for me. Talking shit. Do. Ben Hauer. You're 100% right about Lars. Uh, he was a great arranger. Yeah. Yeah, he arranged music and he arranged practically all of their gigs back in the day. Every demo, he was front and center to get them on the demo in the first place. Hustle. He hustled. In fact, if you look at a lot of old photos of him, a lot of them were him on the phone with his feet up. A lot of them with his shitty beat up trainers, his high tops, obviously. Yeah, when I was talking about how different bands were back in the day with singers, it's like Priest and Iron Maiden sounded nothing alike, you know. But now everybody's trying to be new age of British heavy metal and sound like a cross between Dickinson and him. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, I know what you're doing. All right, chaps. Well, thanks for the donations, guys. There was a lot of crackers tonight, so that was fucking amazing. You guys make it all, because sometimes I think I'm just talking into the void. You know what I mean? Apart from the chat, because obviously I interact with you guys, but when it comes to my channel in general, I'm just like a C-level guitar YouTuber. But it's good to know when I get when I feel the love. It's not just donations, just general people just giving me good vibes. It's been great, man. All right, just a few more, and then I'll get the hell out of here because you can probably tell I'm slowing down. Blackjack. What techniques have you found that allow a cleaner, softer vocal tone to be able to cut through heavy distortion? There's a good one is it's a VST and it is called Devil Lock. So if you've got softer vocals and you're trying to cut through um, a very thick track, um, yeah, there's a great pick plugin by and it's one of the mentions I mentioned this pickup all the time, this plugin all the time because it's so good for that type of thing, and it's called Devil Lock. And there's a Devil Lock Lite. I think there's a or that's cheaper, and that's the one I use. I use the cheap one, and it's fantastic. They pop up for sale all the time, so just maybe sign up for Sound Toys special offers, and every now and then you can pick it up for $20 or whatever, but it's well worth it. I actually did a video called "Why I Don't Buy um, VST software anymore" because I don't, and I got that for free back in the day, because they used to give them out for the little reverb plate, little radiator and things. They used to be free, not anymore. Oh, Julian, you let me see. I have a Schecter guitar signature with those gauges, Julian. It's a good thing I deadlift a lot and have a gorilla grip. It's funny. Yesterday I was wearing a T-shirt that on the back of it says, "Don't do deadlifts. You will hurt yourself," because it's one of the most injury-prone things you can do. Do I have that in your? I don't think I do. It's a cool T-shirt. Goth Rocker 7. Hey, shit, man. $20. Patron and a scholar. Thanks, man. Shit. Love your channel. Keep the late night chats going. I think I need a. Thanks. Another donation. Fucking hell. We've got a train. Is that what they call a dono train? Choo choo. the I gotta find a name for it. Can I call it Rock and Metal is Dead? Like it's gonna be late night, but then it's not. It's like fucking early morning in Britain because it's generally gonna be around 10 p.m. Eastern time. Generally, so it could be you know Friday night rock show type of deal where maybe if you are in my time zone or whatever, it could be something that we all just chill out and chops about why we're not like we didn't make it. So yeah, think of maybe suggest comment on this video for suggestions of what you should call it, and like one of the best because I ask the you sausages quite often for advice on what I should do for this and that, and my favorite one. Do you remember this guy? I asked the reason this is printed out. It was on the side of my rack. So I said, because I finished my rack which is still there because I still have most of the stuff on it. I sold some of the gear, but what shall I call it? And it's 2012. The band, my brother's band actually, he said call it Racky Gervais, and I called it Racky Gervais, and that's why this is stuck to the side of it. I haven't stuck it back on there yet though. Racky Gervais. And what's funny is I tweeted that saying no thanks for naming it. I've named it Racky Gervais, and I tagged Ricky Gervais on it, and he liked it. He's one of the biggest fucking tweeters out there, and he liked my post. That was fucking amazing. So it's also like he's obviously searching for himself. Don't blame him. Thanks again, Gothrock7. Late night bangers in the chat, yeah. Ride the super chat lightning. Yeah, I'm thinking 10 o'clock. So if you can think of a name for my late night, whatever this is, because I don't just talk about rock, do I talk about corporatism and why corporatism helps kill rock and metal and basically protest music, you know? And it's actually, speaking of corporatism, gangster rap. It's kind of an inside job. For-profit prisons, giving money to record labels. What? Who said that? Dun dun dun. Ben, thanks, man. Another 20, another banger from the Hawa. Ricky keeps it real. Yeah, he does. I love Ricky Gervais. It's like I kind of look like him because me and him go up and down in weight as well, like fucking Oprah Winfrey. My knees hurt. I'm into the new wave of old school thrash. Isn't that funny? It's new wave of old school thrash. That's how fucking crazy it's getting. Because this is like the fifth iteration of thrash, you know? Because new wave of thrash has come and gone, so it's not the new. My knees hurt. I heard that too. Jeff Waters said, I have my own band. Oh, Jeff Waters. Dude, when it comes to being the main man and not really concentrating on other musicians to make it better than what it is, fucking annihilator. That's a cautionary tale. One of the best guitarists to walk the earth, one of the best riff writers to walk the earth, but he insists on DIYing it, and it's he could do way better if he got people that are on his level in the band, you know. And he still has to play Alice in Hell all the time, and he can't stand it because there's a fucking banger. I did search Annihilator and Circle of Tone because I did a video on his tone too. Didn't quite get it though. Damn, man. You guys are fucking crazy. Oh, I love it. All right. Did I miss any donations? Because I need to shout you out. If I did, I'll get you next time, dude. Yeah, Jeff Waters and his fucking arpeggios. Crazy. Yeah, so Julian, you deadlift. What's your max, bro? Without straps, without the gear. What's here? Right now, for I never do max when I work out. Because I was talking about my injuries the other day. Because I had so many injuries. There's only certain fucking things there's only certain ways I can move my limbs. So for right now, I make sure that my max is what I can do 8 reps of. So right now, my max on the bench press, I have to use the machine because stabilizing some of my, because I had Like you can see the different size of my arms. My muscles fucking huge on one side and non-existent on the other. Not huge, but I do 250 pounds for I can probably do about 10, 11, 250 pounds with on the bench press machine. Basically, I have the in Planet Fitness because I'm cheap bastard. The bench press machine in Channel Fitness in Planet Fitness, I have maxed all the plates, more plates, more dates, and I can do about 12 of 250. It's 247 and a half, I think, because it doesn't go to 250. So that's where I'm at now when it comes to bench pressage. Because I'll never do maximum singles to see what my. I'm too old. Something will go if I try and go for my max. I have no idea. What would be an interesting thing to do is to see if a regular bench press is the same. Because I just, I might risk a bench press to see if I can do the same with free weights rather than the bench press machine, which I doubt it. Because, you got to get used to the thing. But I wonder if it feels the same if I go down to say 180 to see what it's like on the machine versus having 180 on the bench. It's actually more comfortable for me on the bench than the machine, believe it or not. But that would be interesting to see, right? See if the machine bench press weights correlate with the weights on the free weights. Do you lift, bro? Do. Let's see if you answered because I'm going back. Simon P. I wonder if the band Evil is around. Evil. Speaking of, yeah, they were the new, not the new thrash, but the new thrash. Late night lamentations. Yeah, that might be a good one. Oh, but it depends. I might not be able to see that lamentation. The lamentation of the women. That'd be good. And call it lamentation of the women. The Valhalla sausage after party. That's a good one. Oh, vanilla sausage after party. Yep. Simon P. We're all here because we feel the same way mostly. It's been a great stream, mate. Thanks, man. Yeah, we have to realize the direction that we're going in with the DAW. We have to just realize that it's fucking, careful what you wish for. We all wanted it, right? When we were starting off. I wish I had a studio with unlimited tracks. Fucking careful what you wish for, brother. Do. All right, chaps. I think that'll do it for today. Thank you for all the donations, guys. You are the best. Really, it's obviously it's never going to always be like this. But it was a good night, huh? So you guys make me feel pretty good. So with that, you Valhalla sausages. Let me know in the comments what you think about I should name this because it's hard to describe really, right? Because it's not just talking about guitar because we're talking about production. We're talking about the influence of corporatism in downtown. We're talking about 70s worship and people trying to, the copycat issue is a lot that goes on. So it's hard to say it's this. So we're probably not going to be able to do that, right? We just have to come up with something catchy and funny and memorable that it is happening at 10 o'clock every night. Every night, most nights, weeknights. Yeah. All right, boys. You've been great. I've been Owen. Please subscribe, all that stuff that nobody ever does because we are the underground and we don't do that type of thing because we are old and crotchety. Love you all. Peace.